Well, I'm going to talk about Fntastic again and the day before because there's some revelations that seem to be coming out now that the smoke has cleared. Now that we know everything that went on, how this game and this company is just sitting there trying to pull the strings and trying to dodge taxes and just trying to get investors' money, not your money so much, but the investors that tried to prop up the day before. Well, generally I don't go to Yahoo for my news, but this was an interesting article that I found on Yahoo News with the day before. Before I get into the article, please like, share, subscribe, do all those fun things. This is an interesting topic, and it shows how much I was right in the first place to sit there and question everything this company was doing. I did a video that really encased everything that I found very suspicious with how this company was marketing themselves, and it seems I'm being proven right. I tried to visiting the day before developer Fntastic's offices in Singapore, and this is what I found. And it's absolutely damning and telling what was truly there. According to financial records filed with Singapore authorities, the studio headed by the Getos Vas brothers, I don't even know how you pronounce that, made $3.4 million in 2022. Now, this is a game that they marketed and said at the release that they attempted to release on Steam, that it was 5 years worth of work for that. To me, it looked like it was about 2 weeks worth of crap and asset flipping that they did. By now, most gamers would have heard of the recent disaster in the video game industry, so bad that Steam, the publishing platform, refunded all who purchased the day before without question. It was marketed as a zombie MMO, a mass multiplayer online game where you can sit there and play zombies, but instead it was an extraction server. Get in, get out, loot your stuff, more like a roguelike in that sense. What they saw at Fntastic's office in Bailister. The truth, however, is a lot more mundane. Having found the business address via Singapore accounting, I popped by their office, which was located in a mixed retail space in Bailister, an area in the central region of Singapore. I tried looking for the company's name at the tenant directory, only to discover it was a co-op working space. They had a desk that they shared with other people. Since that was the case, I figured there was no harm to head up to look around. I'd also planned to check in on the other tenants should staff from Fntastic not be around. Alas, I was greeted by the co-op's cheerful center manager, who told me that Fntastic merely used the co-op's address as a virtual office space. So all those videos that we saw where they opening up laptops in a back room of an apartment that makes it kind of look like an office were misleading again. This company was absolutely dreadfully misleading everybody, and Nvidia even got caught up in that situation. Fntastic's finances, according to filings based on the original filing with the company incorporation, Fntastic's PTE LTE, has two directors, Edward and brother Azen. Edward, known as the CEO of the company, and recently disabled his Twitter account while limiting the LinkedIn pace after the fiasco. I did go to the LinkedIn pages of them, and they didn't exist. Like, they existed, but they limited access to it solely that you couldn't get into them. According to the filings, they both put $50,000 each as capital. I was unable to ascertain if the total $100,000 was the minimum required for work or residency purposes. A check with the Ministry of Manpower, the MOM Work Pass site, using publicly information shown that both brothers are here on a standard employment pass. So they're just in Singapore on a visa. Yahoo understands Fntastic did not receive grants on their projects in Singapore. So Singapore, the government of Singapore didn't put it out there. Here's they show some of the financial stuff here, showing how much money they brought in, how much they left. So they filed $3.4 million in revenue, paid both directors $200,000, and then spent $308,000 on travel expenses. That's like $750,000 that they just live the high life off investors, and they don't have anything to show for it at this point. Lastly, according to Fntastic's financial filings, they also were spending $1.6 million for the cost of sales. After taxes and expenses, they were left with approximately $840,000. That's insane. That's insane. They had 3.4 and then nothing to show for it. These guys, to me, they did everything in the book to say it's here, it's there. They had people in Russia, Thailand, Singapore, New Zealand, and in the States, all around the world. This is why their volunteers work all around the world, because they couldn't hammer down on paper how much money was being brought in, brought out. Where do you put the money? How do you even try and sue for this money if you're the investors at this point? I don't even know if it's Mitoya, which is the publisher, if it was them giving them $3.4 million in the first place. So I don't even know. And Mitoya themselves, they're a company that's listed in New Zealand, but apparently they're out of Russia. So once again, we've got this shell game. The shell game is still going on with these guys, and they're running from every little thing and every little detail here. Now, there was a leaked Discord thing that came up saying they had 201,000 sales for the game, but they've refunded to date 91,000. So there's still like 100,000 sales that needed to be refunded, but it sounds like they're just going to be refunded regardless. So if you have the day before in your library and you haven't received a refund yet, contact Steam and get a refund, because this game is not going to go anywhere. It's not worth the $40 title. It's not even worth the free asset flip it could have been. Sorry, this game is an absolute scam. Still, the company have around 3.4 million in revenue, which may come from Russian publisher Mitoya. Fntastic statements allude as much, stating that the game is fully funded by Mitoya. I gotta wonder, Mitoya is a Russian-based, New Zealand-based company that makes a lot of mobile games. So they probably do have the money in mobile games. They're saying they're one of the largest mobile publishers in the world. If you guys have ever heard of Mitoya, when it comes down to what they publish, you know what? We can do a quick search here and I can show you Mitoya. Cooking Diary, I've never heard of it. Everything it looks like they've made, like they still advertise Prop Night, which was a Fntastic game. So it reaches #1 spot on Steam's global top sellers. Prop Night was a Gary's mod with Left 4 Dead, or is it Left 4 Dead, or is it Dead by Daylight was what it was. So it's a 4v1 game where the 4 people have to hide, and they can hide using Gary's mod, where you can become an item in the game, and then there's a serial killer going around killing you. It was the same thing. It was the exact same thing. They just took the 2 games and merged it into a horror-like aspect, instead of you doing this with your friends in a hunt and destroy in a supermarket type of thing. Cooking Diary, I don't even know any of these games. You know, I don't play a lot of mobile games. I don't even have a mobile game on my phone anymore. The last one I used to have was Magic the Gathering Arena, and even then, I've never heard of any of these games. Seeker's Notes, Outfire, like, I don't know. Here we go, games. So they still list the day before on their site, but the game didn't do anything. It went to early access and they didn't go anywhere with it. So I would be very suspicious right now of Mitoya as a company as a whole, especially if you go to their Twitter file, which once again is all about the day before. So they're still pushing this thing with the day before, community noted and all. It's very strange to me to see them pushing so much of the day before to be a #1 highly noted video game publisher in the mobile space. I don't see these guys being someone like everything is about the day before. Yes, there's one random post for Seeker's Notes, but they're still pushing the day before on their Twitter. You would think a lot of this would be deleted by now, or at least hidden, unlisted or something. So I don't know. To me, This feels like it still goes deep. It still feels like there's someone in the wind, and it still feels like there's someone looking to scam more money out of more people. Anyway, I've been your proud Canadian Phoenix Center Shadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.